Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate, the discount property investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit reischool.com. That's reiskool.com. The best online real estate investing community on the planet. Thanks for tuning in. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I am your host, David Dodge, and today I am joined by a friend and a fellow student, Miss Kristen Allen. Kristen has an awesome success story to share with us today on the podcast. You guys are going to learn a ton. She has been working her butt off, and she just made a big old bag of money. And I wanted to bring her on the podcast and congratulate her and of course, share this win with her, but also learn about, what she did and how it all worked and just kind of get all the ins and outs. Kristen, welcome to the show. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing
Thank you for having me.
Fabulous. Thank you for coming on. So let's just jump in. I mean, this is just all about, sharing, educating, teaching those that are new. You were once new, many months ago. So this is really just designed to just help people, right? Okay. So again, do me a favor. Let's break this into like maybe 2 or 3 parts. Number 1, who are you? Number 2, how did you go about, finding the deal? And then number 3, just tell us about the deal. So super simple.
Okay. So I am an investor. I really want to focus on helping people transition. So with that, I started in the probate space and helping families go through probate. Kind of transitioned into a different space, but still with a service-oriented background in what we do. So that has really been the focus. But with that, it was really hard to find deals that, we could get to the close. So it's been a lot of marketing and churn. But essentially we've gotten there. I've been interested in real estate for a very long time. I think I started my company in 2011, but I really wasn't sure how I wanted to get into the real estate space. And I learned about many things, notes and lease options, and kind of the probate space fit the most for me. So that's what I've been focusing on, along with just since 2018. I came across probate leads and started working them, but like many, I was very hesitant to be on the phone. So I know that was a hindrance to how quickly I have been able to move, because I am not the sales person, as you will say.
Oh, we've worked on that. We've worked on that and done a lot of good coaching and got you over those humps. So how long have you been?
Thank you to David.
Oh my goodness.
For throwing me into the deep end.
You did all the heavy lifting. I just kind of helped and guide you, of course, as a coach, but you did all the heavy lifting, Kristen. This is about you, not about me. How long have you been, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. How long have you been not just dabbling, but like aggressively working leads?
Since 2021, I would say.
Okay, got it. Sorry. Aggressively working leads, making this like not just a hobby anymore. Because you had mentioned like 2011, you kind of just were getting in, and then 2018, you started, like saying, oh, this is kind of a route that I want to go. And then since 2021, you've been aggressively working leads. Amazing. Okay, awesome. Very, very cool. You just did a deal. Huge win. Yes. Congrats. So happy for you. How much money did you make?
So total was 73,000, but I put in about 36,000. So I recouped that. And so I netted 33,000.
$33,000. Okay. Amazing. I want to hear all about it. I know that the audience and the listeners want to hear about it. So just do me a favor, start from the beginning, not back all the way to 2011.
No.
But start back, like, when the lead came in, where did it come from? How did you get the lead? What did the conversation start off with? How long did it take? Did you run appointments? Did you go to the property? How many times? Like, break it down. I want you to give us all the details if you don't mind.
Okay, cool. I will try to hit all those hot spots.
Perfect.
So, this was actually a referral, word of mouth.
So
So essentially
networking.
yes,
This
I've
came
been
from
doing a
networking.
lot of networking,
Amazing.
and one of the ladies has been a huge support. So, she works at an assisted living community, and this family came in, and right away she said, "You need to talk to Kristen." So the brother called me and told me his brother was looking to move into a community. He needed to move fast. They needed to close in a week. I said, okay, we'll see what we can do. Um, so he got me in contact with his brother. I talked to him. We set an appointment to be able to meet at the property. So I met with the brother. I spent about 3 hours there with him, and we just did small talk. But I asked him why he hadn't went with any other offers that he had, because he had a couple of people already come and give him offers. And he felt like it was moving too fast with him leaving his house that he had been in for 40 years, but he also knew he needed to because he was sick and he was there by himself. So he had accepted the fact that he needed to transition out of his home. But in the course of us talking and us just, me listening to him and everything else, he gave me the number that he had received from one of the people who came in. And I had already run some comps in that area. So I had an idea of what the price was that I was going to be looking at. Um, and it was close to that price. So I essentially said, if I can match that price, which is 150,000, would he be interested in working with us? So in the end, he said yes.
Now, in the
And
end,
he did,
don't skip ahead. How
yes.
long did that take from that initial offer? Or basically, you didn't really make an offer per se. You just kind of agreed to pay what somebody else was paying, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I had done the numbers and just looking at, we did a tour of the house. It did need work. He owned it outright. But he seemed that he was comfortable with 150. The ARV for that area was about 250 to 270.
Okay.
And looking at what it needed, I figured it needed about 30,000 or so in work, so that those numbers might make sense.
Great numbers. Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
folks, don't get me wrong. Kristen made an offer, but she didn't have to come, make an offer not knowing if the seller would like it or not. In this particular scenario, the seller was like, had gotten offers and didn't dislike one of them and told it to Kristen. And Kristen's like, yeah, I could do that. Right. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, because essentially the
Amazing.
guy just came in and he looked around and gave him an offer contract and left. So
So, so why did he go with you versus this original guy that had made that offer that he essentially was okay with?
rapport.
Love it.
I
I knew
yeah,
that was the
I
answer.
yeah.
But I gotta ask because the people watching and listening don't know. I knew that's what it was. Absolutely. So rapport, what does that mean? How did you build rapport? What does that look like?
I mean, I really just went in there and we had small talk. Now, I would not recommend everyone have a 3 hour appointment, but when you're working in this space the way that I am, the care and feeding is in building the rapport and taking the time to get to know the sellers, and they really do appreciate that. So, just about his life, what he had been through, and things like that. He had cancer, so just talking to him about what these last few weeks had been with him going to different communities, what he liked about him, what he didn't. If we had some other ways that we could help him as far as like the furniture, and he had a car that he wasn't going to be able to take, so we helped him with the car. We helped him with the furniture. So I think us coming with more than one option and not just the house was a big sell for him.
Hell yeah, you came in and provided so much value. Kristen, one thing I want to add, and I know you've heard me say this a lot because we do a lot of coaching calls together. I've run a lot of appointments that are an hour long, probably hundreds. A lot of appointments that are 2 hours long. probably dozens, and a few appointments that have been 3 hours long too. And I have never not worked with the seller when I run a 2 or 3 hour appointment. I've never not worked with the seller. It may not happen that day, but in a month or 2 or 5,
Right.
whatever, I work with that seller. So
Mhm.
I I I want to agree and emphasize that building rapport, even if it takes a couple hours, is so valuable. I love it. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. So built rapport, helped with a bunch of other stuff, problems, just basically telling the seller, we can help any way possibly. What else can we do? You did all those things. And how long did it take from whenever you got the lead from the referral to the time when you guys closed on the property?
So I met with them within a week after she referred them, and I got the contract, I believe, that same night. And
Nice.
then I had been working with a JV partner, and with that particular deal, I reached out to him right away to see if that was something that he would be interested in partnering on. He met me at the property, and so I would say about it was days because
Days.
the
So
brother was
relatively quick.
really, yeah, the brother really wanted it to close within a week.
The
So we
JV
ended up
partner. Oh,
closing.
the brother of the seller.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was concerned, that his health was going to decline quickly. So he wanted to make sure that he was still around. So ironically, he is still around. So, it's
Good
funny
thing.
that way. But yeah,
Yeah.
we closed or we planned to close the beginning of February. And
So from the
we
time the
got the
contract was signed, how long was it to close? About a month?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, it was really the title search that we were concerned about, but the
So this
that
happened all
came
pretty
back.
quick.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay,
Yep.
two
So
questions come to mind. Number one, have you worked with the JV partner before?
no, that was the first
Question
time
number
working with him.
question number two, how'd you meet the JV partner?
So I had another deal that I had worked. I was going to do that as a wholesale. So I had an open house and some individuals came to that property. And one of the individuals, he kept in touch.
Let me
We didn't
guess,
work
you
out.
built rapport with that individual too.
Yes. So he was trying to look for more deals. And I told him I was looking for someone to JV with and not just do wholesales. And he recommended someone. So I went out, I met him, come to find out it was his dad, which was, small world. But his dad has a construction company, he does flips. This was something that seemed like, okay, he has a whole process and system in place. So once I connected with him with this contract, he went and checked out the property and he said, yeah, we can do it. So
I
he was
love it.
willing to pay the purchase price. So one part that I found out once I got it under contract was that there were bed bugs. Um,
Happens. Bought a few like that.
yeah.
So what?
So and
So you
and
found that out. What happened next? Uh-oh.
yeah, so I went and talked to the seller because we would have to do a treatment on the house for the bed bugs. And so we reduced the price based on that
So
to one.
ultimately, you found this out in discovery, which means after you got the contract on the property, you had an inspection period, and you found that out during your inspection period, correct?
The seller did not mention it on my first visit,
Of
but I
course they
talked
didn't.
to him after and he mentioned it. And I
So you
said, oh,
discovered it after. So
yes.
this
And
ultimately raised the cost of repairs,
yes.
right? Because of the
Hmm.
added work. And then you went back to the seller and you told them, hey, good news, I still want to work with you. However, the
Yeah.
cost is going to go up a little bit, so I need to get a better deal. And how much did you get them down?
We went down 10,000. So 140
Amazing. How much did
was
it
the
cost to
final contract.
remediate the bed bugs?
Not quite that amount, because the JV partner, he has his own construction crew and knows all of these folks to handle it. So he wasn't concerned in getting it fixed. So I'm not sure exactly on the number, but
Either way,
but we
it
got,
wasn't
yeah,
10.
probably not. But
Amazing.
yeah,
Okay.
we
So
we worked it out.
tell me the agreement that you and this joint venture partner had, who by the way you had never worked with before. You had met from building rapport from a previous deal that was essentially going to be the buyer on it, but wasn't. So just kind of just met a guy from being in the space? And what did the deal look like between you and him?
So we agreed that he would purchase the property for the 140,
Yep.
and then that I would fund the repairs, and then
Amazing.
we would
Win-win.
split. Yeah. So
So he has some
I,
skin in the game. So do you.
right.
Yep.
So I agreed to pay up to 40,000 for the repairs, and then we would split the profit 50-50.
And you all had a joint venture agreement in place, I'd assume.
Yes.
Perfect.
So
And
we drew all of that up once we, kind of laid out those terms and we got everything drawn up.
perfect. And I guided and assisted Kristen with this, of course, to make sure that she couldn't get stuck or lose. But again, she did all of the heavy lifting here. So got the agreements drafted up, signed, recorded, all the good stuff. He purchased it. You now have possession. Sellers are like probably thrilled. Tell me about the closing day.
It went smoothly. We closed with an attorney, so she handled everything, and he really was the one buying it, so he signed off
Sure.
on the paperwork and everything. I just had a couple things to sign to put a lien on the property for the repairs.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, it was a smooth process for that as well.
Was
It
the
it,
seller
it was,
happy?
yes, and the brother, he was
I'm
very
sure everybody
happy.
was
Yeah.
very happy. Awesome.
The one thing I forgot was that he had a cat and he didn't want to take the cat with him to the
Hmm.
community. So I had to take care of the cat and get a rescue for the cat. So I've kept up with him a couple of times to see how he was doing, but I think he was a little bit sad about the cat more than the house in some ways.
My
But
best friend's my
um,
cat.
yeah, yeah, and
Seriously, he's my best friend. I love him. I get it.
yeah.
That's sad that he had to part with the cat. But all in all, a huge win. Amazing. Tons of value. Let me guess. You purchased it with cash, as is, and fast. All three things, right? That's what we
Yeah.
do. Provide convenience. Okay. So bought the property. This is the joint venture partner, but of course, you're part of the transaction. They're thrilled. What happens next?
Starts construction right away.
Okay.
So this particular property is about 1,000 square feet ranch. Um, the washer was in the kitchen, the dryer was in the garage. So
Interesting.
that, yeah, my
Was the
main
toilet
thing
out in the yard?
needed work, but no. So I wanted the dryer to be in the house. That was objective. So
And
they
what city and
redid.
state? Kristen, I'm sorry, I should have asked you this earlier.
Oh, Chesapeake, Virginia.
Virginia. Cool.
Yeah. So so his team came in and they demoed, and I mean they took out the walls and redid the bathroom and redid the kitchen, and you would never know that that was the layout.
So
So
hold on a
it really
second.
came together.
I just heard something that I think the audience might have picked up on too. Joint venture partner had a construction company,
Yep.
but you were paying for the rehab.
Yep.
That's amazing. So he purchased it with his money to buy it, and then you just paid his company to fix it.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay, so they came in, they rehabbed it. What's the rehab cost and or time? How much did it cost and how long did it take?
So it was about 35,000 and it took 6 weeks.
It's not
So
bad.
we closed on the 9th of February and we were able to list the house by the 20th or so, not the 20th, about the 17th of March,
Perfect.
roughly.
Who listed it?
We were shooting for the 15th. So he has
Okay.
a whole family operation. So his wife was a realtor, so she does all the listings for his
Amazing.
properties. So that was already, she knew what she had to do and she took care of it. Um, he asked if I could do the open house. So we did an open house. It listed on a Friday, and I did an open house on Sunday. And Monday we had an offer. So someone had come before or after the open house and they put an offer in on Monday, full price offer. But we listed it for 275. There were comps in the area around the 250 mark. So when we went in with before the rehab was started, we thought we were going to try to hit the 250 line with what we were going to list it at. But by the time it was done, she's like, I think we can go for the 275, which was another house that had sold in the area. So I was a little nervous, but it sold quickly. So I luckily someone came, it was the right fit for them, and they wanted to close quickly. So we were able to get that closed on the 20th of this month. And yeah, it has been a whirlwind.
10
So
days ago.
yeah.
Amazing. So let me guess. The seller got back what he put in, plus maybe
Hmm.
even a little interest if there was a private or hard money loan, or maybe it was his money. Regardless, he got that back. You got
Yeah.
your rehab funds back. So everybody was made whole. And then you
Yes.
split the profits 50-50.
Yes.
Everybody contributes, everybody wins. So many wins. Let's talk about the wins for a second. Brother and seller both won. Seller and brother both won. I guess the cat didn't win, but that's okay.
Well, the cat did win
The cat
because
did win, right? Of
the
course.
cat was in a the cat was a boy and he was very territorial. So I had intended to bring him to my house before I took him to the rescue, and he was like an outside cat. Like you couldn't get to him. So had he went to the SPCA, they might have put him down because he wasn't socialized. But
That's
I
a
found a
win.
rescue company and they took that cat. She sent me videos that he's so much better now. So I feel good about where he's
Hey,
gone. So yeah.
I misspoke. The cat won. That's a huge
Yes.
win. Okay. Sellers won. Cat won. Agent or not agent, attorney got a closing. They made a little money. They won. Title company won
Yeah.
because they got some business. You and the joint venture partner won because you guys got a good deal that had a good spread. His team of contractors and his contracting construction company all got jobs and made money. They won.
Yeah.
I'm sure Home
And they
Depot,
helped to clean
Lowe's.
out the house and take some of the furniture for themselves.
I'm
So they
sure
won
Home
on that
Depot,
side too.
Menards, and Lowe's won by
Yeah.
selling y'all 30, 25, 30 grand worth of materials, whatever the difference of the labor is in the materials there. The wife of the joint venture partner was an agent. She got a listing and made a commission. She won.
Yeah.
The list goes on. You had you listed it at the top of your range. You got it sold quick. That's a huge win for everybody involved. A buyer got a great, awesome deal in Chesapeake, Virginia, rehabbed, right? And no bed bugs in the house anymore, right? All clean, new stuff, dryer in the home,
Yeah.
rehabbed, pretty, beautiful, clean home, win. And I'm sure there was a title company and an attorney on the backside too. So, like, I don't even know how many people just won there, 40 people,
Yeah.
something crazy like
Yeah.
that. Awesome. I love real estate investing. I love fix and flipping, and I love working with people like you because it just makes so much, it just makes for such a fun experience. And who doesn't want to go make 30 grand? Let's talk about the profits.
Yeah. So it was 33,000, which is I don't know what I expected, but I to
A lot of
almost
money.
make 100% on the ROI is I'll take that any day. So
Absolutely. For what, like
I
2.5 months?
right.
Not even, yeah,
Yeah.
roughly. That's such a short amount of time. So, and then how much did I would imagine that the joint venture partner also cleared about 33 grand too, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. What was your biggest takeaway from closing this transaction, getting paid, and making a ton of money?
I think all of it, it's been a lot of sweat equity as far as, building relationships and getting a plan in place on how I would do a deal in certain scenarios. So, I had ran through many of them in my mind once I came across this property, but I working with a JV partner for the first time is scary in and of itself, and in the whole trust factor that has to be there. Um, but I I feel like, preparation is important. And had this happened a few years ago, I might not have been as prepared. And really it helped to build on those blocks. So I think that's my biggest takeaway is everything happens for a reason and happens when it's supposed to happen. So
Absolutely. And when you build a ton
yeah,
of rapport with everybody, it happens so much easier, doesn't it?
yes,
Well, I know you're gonna,
absolutely.
I know you've heard me say this 100 times, maybe 1,000, a lot of times. But I want to make sure we say it on the podcast too. buying houses, flipping houses, wholesaling, fix and flipping, all these different things that we can do. It all starts with making a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a lot of people that are new, when I say that, they're like, okay, Dave, sounds good. They don't really realize how important that step in the process is. Nobody wants to do business with somebody they don't know, like, or trust. Building rapport is the name of the game, but really don't think that you need to like go learn all this crazy NLP or all these tips and tricks or sales methods. Like, I'm terrible at sales. I bought 1,000 houses in my life. But
Yeah.
the goal is just make a friend, guys. You will build rapport naturally if you learn how to make a friend. And Kristen was great at it when I met her, but she's even better at it now. And what an awesome story, Kristen.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
That is so amazing. And what's next? More of these?
I hope so. Now the work continues. So I had someone I talked to on Thursday who I think she's trying to ghost me now. so
Nice.
so persistence. I need to try to get her back on the phone because I think that one could be a win. On a I guess a hotel type of a scenario if we can get
Sweet.
this one locked up. So fingers crossed there, and have a couple others that I'm trying to make sure I'm marketing too heavily so I can get in front of them. So it's really getting back out there and starting over again.
And I'm confident you're going to do tons of deals just like this. Last question, Kristen. I won't keep you. Thanks again for coming on the show today, sharing these wins, sharing the process, and then just the entire, journey. It's been amazing, right? So last question, what advice would you give to the guy or girl that's either listening to this podcast or watching this video here? If they are new, what advice would you give them so that way they can ultimately save some time to get their first deal or get that next deal?
Don't give up. Be persistent, and you make sure you stay positive mentally because you will have some doubts in what you're doing. But if you are really wanting to do this business, you have to be the one telling yourself that it's worth it. And make sure you're prepared, whether it be with the paperwork, whether it be with, outside partners that you have to go with, but you have to have your ducks in a row. So get that in order and you should be good to go once you get that contract under your belt.
I love it. Kristen, thank you. You are crushing it. Keep it
Thank
up.
you.
Huge win. I love getting to hear about it, getting to celebrate it with you. I am so excited for you, and I know you're going to have so many more just like this coming right behind it. Thank you for being here. Guys and girls, take it from Kristen. Be
Thank you.
persistent. Build rapport. This business is incredibly simple if you stick to it. All right. Solve problems, make friends, and ultimately create a bunch of wins. There's 30 wins we talked about on this episode, 30 of them. Create a bunch of wins, solve some problems. This is so incredibly simple. Kristen, you are the best. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing.
No
And I
problem.
really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
I love it. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Signing off, guys. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. It would mean the world to us. Seriously, please go leave us a review. I would totally do it for you. Now, don't forget to jumpstart your real estate investing career. Please visit reischool.com. That's reiskool.com. The best real estate investing community on the planet. Lastly, don't forget that you make your money when you buy. You get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.